George, it's a try bonus point win to start off the campaign. You must be really happy with the performance today.
Yeah, obviously delighted with the result. By and large, I thought the performance was good. Still a tad bit of frustration in that as well, particularly the first 20 minutes of the second half. But yeah, we wanted to start with a good result, a decent performance. We did that.
A lot of the damage was done in the opening 20 minutes, and a lot of it came from the territory game, which comes down to you. How is it important to execute that, to make sure that you're on the front foot and you start the game well?
Yeah, the start of the test match is always massive. First 10, 15, 20 minutes. I think tactically to give you a foothold in the game and put your stamp on it a little bit. So, yeah, I thought the boys did that well. I mean, we were able to dominate territory because of the boys up front, to be honest with you. So they did a brilliant effort there.
Watching as the game progresses, there seems to be so much confidence and belief in what you're doing now. How good is that a place to be in as this squad looks to build through the tournament? Yeah,
we're just trying to put bits of our game together and understand that we want a really good defence, kicking game, set piece, all to give us attacking opportunities. So the more attacking opportunities we create, hopefully the more we take as well, which is obviously the next layer for us. I think we probably left a few out there today.
Well, you extend the winning run to 12 games and you get to take it away to Murrayfield next weekend. Going to be tough, but you must be looking forward to that one. Yeah,
it's always tough. We're obviously taking each game as it comes, so we'll review this. Look forward to next week. We always love going up there, so yeah, we'll give it our best shot.
Well, George, congratulations. You are today's Guinness Men's Six Nations Player of the Match.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Jamie, 7 tries and a winning performance to get your campaign underway. What are your thoughts on the performance today?
Oh, just like a huge amount of pride, really. You know, we had a good couple of weeks build-up. We knew what sort of emotion was going to come out of the Wales camp, but you know, I thought we really focused on ourselves today, and you know, we were the team that we wanted to be on the whole.
How important was that opening quarter in setting the tone? Because you pretty much put yourselves in a great position to win from there. Yeah,
like, you know, I think it's always interesting the first game of a tournament like this. You want to go out, you want to set the stall out, you want to show what sort of team you want to be, and you know, there's been a lot of talk about us over the last 12 months. Like, we're the sort of team that, you know, obviously you want to try and bring a bit of momentum into it, but at the same time, you know, we're starting new. We want to try and show exactly what we want to be about. We want to push and keep getting better, and that's what we've done over the last couple of weeks, and we'll continue to do that.
Yeah, and you've got another big game to look forward to next weekend. What improvements do you think you can make off a game where you score 43 points?
There's always plenty to learn. I think, you know, you learn from what you did well. You learn from maybe what you did not so well. We gave a lot of penalties away. I think, you know, when you get into a lead like that, you know, probably giving penalties away, letting teams back in, you know, we probably did that for a stage in that second half in particular. So plenty to learn.
Well, Jamie, it's a winning start, and we look forward to seeing you next weekend.
Thank you very much.
Well, Dewi, a tough afternoon for you and your team. What do you say to the boys in the huddle after a performance where things just didn't quite go your way?
Yeah, look, we're massively disappointed in ourselves, really, in what we said we were going to do. What we practiced through the week, we didn't perform it today. So yeah, we just said that we've got to be disappointed in ourselves. We can't expect things to go our way all the time. We have to make it happen. We're not a team that's going to get the rub of the green at the minute or going to get 50-50, so we have to be squeaky clean, and we weren't. You know, played large amounts of that game with 13 men, and yeah, we spoke all week about discipline, and we let ourselves down in that area massively today.
Yeah, always going to be difficult. You mentioned that the 4 yellow cards across the game, but why do you think in that opening quarter in particular you weren't able to implement the game plan you wanted to?
Look, I think when we went to the air, when we stuck to our game plan, we really got some joy out of it early doors. But just you know, little offsides or a couple of penalties blocking the kickers. We knew England were going to come heavy at first breakdown. We didn't beat them in there. A couple of penalties, so you know, we stacked that penalty count early doors, and then another 2 at driving line out time, and you end up in 2 yellow cards. So yeah, look, we've just got to action the things that we say in the week, and we didn't today.
Well, Dewi, best of luck for next weekend.
Thank you. Cheers.
Steve, a difficult afternoon for you and your team. What's your initial assessment on the performance today?
I'm probably really frustrated. I think through the autumn, and again, we're working with a group, like obviously love working with them, but probably a little bit more disappointed in ourselves today. Whereas I think through the autumn there was a lot of good in around what we did, but today probably I believe a lot of what happened was self-inflicted, which is really disappointing for us because we felt we were in a good place where we're coming into the game, but coming to England, if we're going to go down and lose 4 yellow cards, we're very inaccurate when we did get any sort of field position, then you're always going to be on the tough end of the scoreboard.
I'm sure the players will look at themselves, but as a coach, is there anything you can do in those moments? Because you come in with a great game plan, but like you said, self-inflicted wounds undoing all that good work in the training week.
Yeah, look, it's part of coaching, it's part of the game, and again, it's part of our journey and where we need to go. We are where we are for a reason, but again, it's making sure that we reflect really hard on it. We believe we are, well, ultimately we're really disappointed in the performance tonight because we felt we were going to get more from the game. We knew it was a tough place to come, and England are in a real good spot in around where they are as a team, but we will be bitterly disappointed as a group with this performance.
And as always with the Six Nations, there's no let up. France next weekend. So how do you go about picking up the players and getting them ready to go against a very dangerous team at the minute?
Yeah, look, I think, like I said earlier, this is where we are as a group. But in fairness to this group, they'll come in and they want to learn. And again, but there's some harsh truths in the game today, in particular, because we've had the autumn to embed some of the things that we wanted to embed, but ultimately we're bitterly disappointed with probably a lot of our accuracy in the game today. I know we're up against a good team, but again, this is the bit about the Six Nations. Like, there's a game next week which we need to improve on.
Well, good luck next weekend.
Josh Adams, huge commiserations. You've just come off the field. What's the overriding emotions right now?
Well, just massive disappointment. Couldn't really get a foothold in the game. England fought harder than us. I thought contact skills were much better. Even though we got a bit of joy out of the aerial game, I thought we got some good transition moments out of that. Couldn't capitalise on our opportunities in the 22. Probably give away ball too easy and played majority of the game with 13 men on the field. And against a team like England at the minute, who are arguably playing some of the best rugby I've seen, is very, very difficult.
The back three were given a huge workout on both sides. How much did you work on that in the week, and how pleased were you with the outcome?
Yeah, it's something we had a brief look at. I thought, I think the way the game is being played with the aerial game, kick contest is massive, something we practice a lot. Try and create as much transition as we can. As I just said, I thought we got some moments, got some entries into the 22, just couldn't keep ball and couldn't apply enough pressure, really.
No win now in the Six Nations since 2023. You know that better than anyone. How heavy is that weight for Welsh players right now?
Yeah, it could be heavy. It's probably not something we'll talk about, or it's not something that is talked about, if you like. I think with where we're at a team, our sole focus can only be the next game. Bit of a cliche, don't like saying them, but it has to be just home next week, and we have to be in a game against France next week. We have to be competitive. We need a reaction from today's performance.
I wish you all the best. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Henry Arundell, you've had to wait a while for that start again. Tell me, how did it feel getting that hat-trick?
Yeah, very special. It wasn't the hardest hat-trick in the world, which I think will be a couple tap-ins, but it means a lot, and it's a hat-trick at the end of the day, and more special to to start win after being 2 years away. It means a lot.
You say it means a lot. You've been away for a while. The competition you have at the moment for places in this England squad is exceptional. So do you really feel you took your chances today?
Who knows? Who knows? That's the coach's decision. But every time now, when I get the chance, it means even more. Yeah, like you said, when you've been away for a while, you kind of appreciate every single cap you can get.
When it comes to the hype in the build-up to this game, there was so much chat about your speed and Lewis Rees-Zammit's speed. Do you really feel you got tested against each other today?
Not too much. I think when we were one-on-one, he kicked it. I was kind of laughing at him after that. Should have gone for it. It's always a fun media chat, but obviously the result is more important, and the team performance is always first thing.
And when it comes to a group, I know you're only just off the field. What's the thing you're most satisfied about as a group?
Probably not conceding that much. I think we wanted to nil them. As you go into half-time, conceding 0 points is always that motivation. But we're a team that probably sets very high standards, and despite the scoreline, I think we left quite a lot out there and more points. And that's exciting. It means throughout the championship and throughout the year we can keep building.
Ready for Scotland next week?
Yeah, definitely.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fraser Dingwall, how satisfying was that?
Yeah, it really is. I think, especially first off, we got a lot of the stuff right around like the aerial stuff, and we won a lot of the contests back, which allow us to apply a lot of pressure and ultimately convert into points. I think, to be honest, second half still felt a little bit clunky at times, and I think we'll be slightly disappointed with some of our discipline and how we allowed them back into the game at times. But ultimately, what a great start for the Six Nations.
Can you give us some insight of what it's like when Ben Earl comes and plays with you in the centres? Because he's a man of so many talents.
He is, I think. Obviously he does amazing things in the back row, so you just try and bring those out when he's in the centre as well. He's obviously got an incredibly well-rounded game, so he's someone that is able to jump into the centre quite easily. It makes it quite easy for me. He's obviously a great ball carrier, so he can look after some of that stuff. It's just how you can control him and bring out all the best in him.
Don't fancy jumping in the back row?
If needed. Well, I think Fremo went in, didn't he, when we had a yellow card, so he jumped in the scrum ahead of me, so maybe I'm a second choice at the moment.
Tell us what happens tonight. How much do you enjoy this? When do thoughts turn to Scotland?
Oh, I think it's massively important to enjoy each of these games and enjoy them together and enjoy winning, because it's not always, it doesn't always come easy, but ultimately I think we'll be looking after ourselves, getting ourselves in a great space to go and attack next week.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
7 tries and a 48-7 win back at home at the Allianz. Must be really happy with the way your team have started this year's Six Nations.
Absolutely, and I think the supporters enjoyed it as well. It was brilliant to be here at Allianz Stadium, and I'm sure there's millions of people at home watching it on TV. I thought what pleased us in particular was the start of the game, the intensity the team brought at the start of the game, the focus they had, the approach they had. And I think secondly, what was really pleasing was the defence, and that we know what pace Wales have in their backline, pace they have on edges, and I thought we did a really good job to shut that down.
Yeah, the opening quarter seemed to be where you won the game. How important is it having someone like George Ford to make sure that when you've got a plan, that you can execute it perfectly?
Well, I think he's a wonderful rugby player, and I've said many times before, I think many years from now when he decides to start coaching, I think he's going to be a brilliant coach. I think he'll coach England one day, and I think we're also blessed to have so many great senior players. I thought the team was really well led from the start by Jamie George, and we could carry on listing the leaders in the team, which is we're very fortunate to have such great players.
And we got to see a cameo from Ben Earl in the centres for 15 minutes. We've seen him there before, but the ability to have players that can adapt is testament to the depth that you've got in your squad at the minute.
Certainly, and I really like players who have positional versatility. It's super important having that ability to adapt and amend to wherever situations occur. I also think with the number of great back rowers we have, it's another way of having these great back rowers on the pitch together.
The game was won quite comfortably, but any slight frustration in that middle third where perhaps Wales just managed to think they might have a chance of getting back in the game?
Yeah, I think ultimately, what we'd probably come away from this game and say the kicking game was strong. I think we'd probably say the set piece was strong for the most part. I think we'd say defensive were excellent, generally excellent. And I think we would say we created a load of opportunities, which is brilliant. I think we'd probably then say, so that tells you the game's in a good shape. What we'd probably then say is you've got to be a lot more ruthless with the opportunities, I think, and we let the pace of our attack drop later on, which, again, I'd like that intensity, that speed to remain higher than it did.
Well, still 12 wins in a row, a squad full of confidence and belief, and you get to go to Murrayfield next to try and win for the first time in 6 years. How big a challenge is that? How much do you look forward to it?
Yeah, well, I think that what's gone before, you talk about number of games, it's actually irrelevant. All that matters